Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be talking about this little guy and why you should possibly have one on your camera. Alright, so first off, Happy New Year's. You may notice setups changing over the next couple of weeks. I'm actually getting ready to move. Super excited. Gonna finally have a huge dedicated studio space. Rather than just a little corner out here. So things may be disappearing and appearing in the background and angles may change. So forgive the kind of set appearance for the next couple weeks at least. But anyway, let's get into today's video where we're talking about the new Portkeys Li. Now, if you have no idea who Portkeys are, I actually made a video on their 5-inch monitors, the BM2, last year, and I'm actually still using it today. It is by far my favorite monitor that I've owned to date. It's built like a freaking tank. It's got HDMI, SDI, all that good stuff. You can go watch the video. I'll just put the card or else I'm going to ramble about it for 10 minutes. But anyway, when they reached out to me a little while ago talking about, hey, do I want to check out their new EVF? I'm like, heck yes, because I've secretly always wanted an EVF. So in case you have no idea what an EVF is, basically inside of this little lens looking thing here is a very small screen. Basically, it allows you to put this up to your face and see the image that your camera is capturing. Now, why would you want that? So obviously, most of the time that you're operating a camera, you're holding it in front of you, whether it's on sticks or on a gimbal or anything like that, and you obviously see the camera, you see the set, the lights, the behind the scenes, all the people. But what I really like about the experience of an EVF is when you're ready to hit record and shoot, put your eye up to it, and it's almost has this very immersive feel to it. You essentially drown out everything around you and you are only focusing on the frame. It's honestly an experience I've always wanted to try, and it makes me happy. There's the artsy fartsy reason of why I love this thing. Now on to a little bit more sound reasons why you should maybe spend your money on this. All right, so the first one's a bit obvious, shooting in daylight. Even though monitors like the BM5, I think I said the name wrong before, it's the BM5 Mark II or BM5 II, something like that. I mean, that thing's like 2200 nits. There's like 3000 nit monitors out there, and they handle very well in direct sunlight, but sometimes you still get glares depending on whatever situation you're in. And again, being able to look directly into a tunnel that is totally black around the screen, and so you can get a nice vibrant look into your frame can be ultra important to make sure your exposure is proper, that fair continuity, that you're not getting like a light stand or whatever in the shot. And even though this is only a 300 nit display, again, since it's kind of in this dark house essentially surrounding it, it doesn't really matter. It's kind of like, computer monitors aren't very bright. I think this one is also around 300 nits, and it doesn't matter because I'm not taking this outside. It's being used in a relatively low lit environment. It also does have a pretty good resolution, 1400 by 900. And again, that may sound small, but remember, this is on like a couple inch display. So in terms of build quality, it feels very solid. Again, I love Portkeys stuff. All their stuff feels so good. I want to say this is actually metal on the back here. This like tube part is plastic, but still feels very solid. Got a little bit of nice wood here for the, what's it called, diopter or whatever, based on your eyes, just to change the different focus. And then you have a foam eye cup piece here that does fold back, and it does have a little bit of Velcro on the bottom to stick so it's not constantly flapping in your face. And then you just unstick it. Now I did get some mounting options. So you do have 3/4 20 holes on the bottom that I mounted this little 15 millimeter rail adapter so I can put it on my system, as I'm sure you're seeing in the B-roll here. On the side, we have a USB port, which you can power this through USB, through like USB hub, 5 volts. Obviously you have a DC in, so you can run DTAP to this. And then you have your HDMI in. As one downside is it doesn't have a pass-through, so there's no HDMI out or anything, and we'll talk about that more in a minute. And then on the top and the left-hand side, you'll see very similar buttons to most of their monitors. You have 4 function buttons on the top. Here you can program to do a lot of the standard stuff. You can view a LUT, focus peaking, waveforms, false colors, zebras, all that glorious stuff. And then you have your actual menu controls on the left-hand side, and it's basically the same menu system as any other Portkeys monitor, which I really like for consistency. So once you learn one, it's very easy to learn another. And then on the back, you have the actual power button. Now, I think I hinted at it. Another reason to have this, even if you're indoors, is again, being able to focus fully on the frame will allow you to make less continuity errors. I've noticed that when I use this, I'm able to, if I'm filming a product, be like, oh, there's more dust here, or I'm getting this cable in the shot that I may have had to, zoom in and post and crop out or anything. It also can be way more comfortable. A lot of times I like to shoot kind of over the shoulder rigs, and depending on where you mount your monitor, sometimes you put it like too close and you have this like giant 5-inch monitor in your face, and that's too much, but then it's too far or it's on top, and so you're like angling your neck all weird. And so I love the ability to kind of use like a magic arm or anything and literally put this right here while you got the camera on your shoulder. And I just find it really comfortable. All right, so now let's talk some downsides. And right before we do that, let's kind of pre-justify it a little bit. EVFs are normally very, very expensive. This is $399. It may sound expensive if you've never looked into EVFs before, but most of the time they're either $1,000, $1,500, and then you can go way up to like the RE one, which is like 12 grand or something. And Portkeys actually makes a more premium version that is like $1,000, and then they have one specifically for RED cameras that's like $1,100, and it's a lot larger, and it uses SDI and HDMI, and it has in and out, so that's really cool, and a different eye cup piece. And that leads perfectly into my first complaint of this, which is the foam eye cup. Have I had any problems with it? No, to be fair, but it is the jankiest and cheapest part, like feeling part of it. Now, when I read their website description, it made a little bit more sense, because traditionally EVF eye cups are like, but like if this is where the lens was, I'm just gonna show an image. What am I doing? So this is what a normal EVF eyepiece looks like. It's kind of rounded. And I can imagine that would be issues with people who wear glasses. Because this is flat, even if you have glasses, you can rest those up against the foam and still see into the EVF. And it does come off super easily, and it actually came with 2 in the box. So over time, if this one gets wear and tear, you can buy another one. It's also so that if you rotate this to the proper eye placement, that you make sure you put it so it's always folding down, so you can store it on that Velcro piece. But yeah, I definitely, for me personally, I wish this was rubber or some other material that the more premium versions, but I'm guessing that's just one of the corners to get the cost down. Oh, and then I slightly mentioned it before, but the one HDMI port, if your monitor has pass-through, then it's cool, because you could go like HDMI to your monitor and then out from the monitor to this. But for me, since my Portkeys monitor only has one and this only has one, I basically just have to hot swap. Not a huge deal, but I thought I'd mention it. So that's a look into the Portkeys Li. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Do you see any value in a EVF for content creators who maybe aren't working on huge films or anything, but in your day-to-day, YouTube or client work? And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button and get subscribed, because we got some epic stuff coming. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.